Yo, it's Guido. Yo, Joe. Hey, the G.I. Joe stuff is back, my friend. So, for the fans of Hasbro's G.I. Joe, a real American hero, which happens to be in its 40th anniversary, if you can believe it, 1982, I believe. Now, there was G.I. Joe before that. I did a very small amount of research there because I thought to myself, I had G.I. Joes in the 70s, but I believe in 82, the real American hero part with the cartoon and the toys associated with that was a sort of reboot thing. So 40 years of that has gone on now. And as you can see, I have a Sturv S1 with a new G.I. Joe customization. We're going to talk about it. There are two new ones, one for Cobra and one for G.I. Joe. And there's two new characters, Baroness and CoverGirl. Now, there's a lot of little nuances to this and some good things going on. In fact, you can come up with a free commander from last year if you missed out or didn't have it. I'll tell you how to do that as we go through here. We're going to look at where you can find the packages, where you can find these customizations, and we'll take a look at each one as we go, and I'll discuss the missions and all the things that are going on with it. We will take a look at the skins in just a bit. They're all 3D, very cool looking, makes it look like a little plastic tank and all that good stuff. But the first thing we're going to do is we are going to jump over and take a look at how you find all of this stuff. So go to the website. And you're going to want to go to two places. The first place is to find out about the event is right here. It's an article, G.I. Joe Returns. You want to click on that, and then something will happen eventually. This has a lot of the information on it. Let's go through a couple of the high points for you guys. You can watch a video that talks about it. It actually has all four of the customizations towards the end of the video together in a game setting, which is kind of cool. There's new characters. This is what it talks about. There's 5 days initially. Unfortunately, this is Saturday, so we've already gone through 2. What I am hoping is that if you've missed the first day, that you can still catch up. But there's a mission being dropped each day of the first 5 days that are pretty easy. We'll jump into the UI and check that out in a minute. There is also a bonus code. We'll get to that as well. You're going to want to do that whether you're doing these missions or not. So CoverGirl is right here. This is the G.I. Joe. The story is that Joe brings in some backup, as does Cobra Commander, who brings in Baroness. This talks a little bit about her background, all that good stuff. It is a commander with a 0 perk, Brothers in Arms, Jack of all trades, and Repair. As usual, you're probably going to want to respec that commander if you've got the gold, because there's better skills than that, but it is a good commander with a 0 perks. Very nice. Plus 6 cents, I guess. You could check that on top based on the new change. The villain is Baroness. Same things as far as the setup goes with the commander. How are you going to get those two? That's a great question. I think I know, but I don't have confirmation. There's a quick story right here with some, I don't know, what are they called in the comic book thing? Pains, I guess. Goes through the little story. Basically, these two have a history. They have met in Washington, D.C. and duked it out, and CoverGirl came out on top. Because that's what Joe does, right? They always win. They always win. Time to choose your side. Now, this is where you're going to want to go, regardless of whether you're planning on doing this whole thing or buying any of the content or anything like that, because you're going to see these buttons here, Joe or Cobra. You're going to pick a team. Before you do that, I want you to scroll down and take a look at this, because this is the current numbers of how many have picked Cobra and how many have picked Joe. So it's up to you. I picked Joe. I like to be the good guy. That's just me. If you want to be on the winning team, you might start leaning towards Baroness. Maybe there's a big push. Hey, let's do it. Let's get Joe to win this thing. Help out Baroness and Joe, and we can win this thing, right? I don't know. Let's be realistic. They've got 1/2 the amount of people. All right. I think this is the part I cannot tell you for sure. I have not been able to get clarification. My assumption on this is that the winning team will get the character. I don't know. I would hope so. I would hope so. But unknown what the winning team gets right now. Okay? So let's scroll back up here real quick. What you're going to do is press that button, and it will, see if I click Joe, it takes you right down. It takes you down further into the thing, and there's a big button there. If you press that, it will go to the standard Wargaming Redeem Code button. All right? And then you want to click on that, and you will get it. The cool thing with that button, and the reason I say that you're going to want to do that, is you will get the commander from last year, depending on which side you chose. So, Cobra, you get Cobra Commander. Joe, you get Duke. I would do it. It's a free commander. Same deal as the other commanders right there. So continuing down, you can see that the two toys are here. What's cool, and this actually amazed me because I looked this up for you guys as well, and some of you may know this if you're Afacondos, Connoisseurs, Afacondas. If you're a connoisseur, I know it's not that, of G.I. Joe, a real American hero, then you might look at those and go, ooh, those are pretty close. And then I looked them up and said, they're really close, pretty cool, because this is a Sturv S1 in the game. This is a Renegade in the game. Both pretty good premiums, by the way. Solid premiums. Nice to have, even if you don't like the 3D styles on those things. If we look at this. So I looked this up on the old Google. Here is CoverGirl, the old school. It's a Wolverine armored missile vehicle. Other than the barrel, it's like the same vehicle. How cool is that? I'm assuming maybe it was based off the Sturv. Who knows? Very well could be. And if we go over to the Cobra one, it's the motorized Crimson attack tank, the Cat. Well, how come the M didn't make it? I guess M-Cat wasn't as cool as Cat. So it's not the M-Cat, but it is the Cat. And there's that is Cobra there. I don't see CoverGirl, whether she was involved specifically with this tank at some point or what was going on, but there it is. Really close to a Renegade. I mean, basically, if you look over on this one right here, although it's sliding off the side, look at this one right here. Holy cow. Really looks like a Renegade, so pretty cool. All right. I'm not a huge collector of stuff like this. I have some things. I have some tanks and stuff around, little doodads here and there. And I suppose if you're my wife, you would look at it and say, yeah, you're a huge collector geek, but it's nowhere near as much as other people. The cool thing I do have, though, that is related to Joe is this. I can remember which camera it is. Here it is. This is Story of Victory, which was a diorama, G.I. Joe diorama put out some years ago. Don't know if you can still get this thing, but it's a couple pilots talking with their hands, you know, talking about the fight. And one guy's got a cup of coffee in his hand, and then he's got his feet up on the AIM-9 right there. I don't know any weapons guys who would allow this to happen, but anyway, it's a cool little diorama of a couple pilots talking with their hands. So that's my one big G.I. Joe thing that I've got right there. All right. Further down into the article, it's got some close-ups if you want to look at the 3D models. We will look at all 4 of them here in just a moment. There are some customizations that come along. Those missions, the 5 missions starting on Friday for 5 days to the 18th, those all have little doodads. We'll get to that in just a second. Here they are right now. So far, I've only had 2 show up. You'll get the rest of them as they unlock. There's the number that we talked about earlier, and now for the bundles. For the bundles, you can go this way. Let's see what happens if I click Purchase Packages. There you go. So that link works. Or you can go through the standard shop, and over on the right side, up here at the top right where it says G.I. Joe, that will give you all the packages. So you can buy the CoverGirl with the Sturv S1 Wolverine Watt Edition, or you can get Baroness with the Renegade/Cat edition. It does come with some 5 missions times 5 XP kind of stuff in there. You can buy just the 3D style if you have the tank. So there you go. They're $14. I don't know why these two are $4 different. It's interesting to me that the Sturv S1 is $4 more. I would have said it's a less popular tank than the Renegade, but there you have it. Also, too, and in addition to, my friends, you can go ahead and grab the 3D styles from last year. Or was it earlier this year? I don't remember exactly. But the last time that we did this, the TS5 has got the cool little plastic green thing for G.I. Joe, and the T-54 first prototype. Now, what I don't see, interestingly, is apparently you can't buy just the skins for those two. So I don't see that there. Maybe it's somewhere else on the store. That's unfortunate. I wish they had done that. That would have been nice for people. Or you can buy the package of both for $135, the package of the 2 new ones for $144. Prices may vary in your region, depending on where you're from and what kind of currency you're using, etc., etc. Well, let's look at the missions so far really quickly. Before that, though, if you want to know where the commander goes, barracks, go to there, go down to recruits, this bottom one, click on that. You can see that I've got Duke right now. That's where they will go, and then you can assign them. That is a locked commander, as I recall. Let's go in here and check that out. Looks like Yes, locked commander. All right, so you can respect that for a bunch of gold, but you know it's Duke. He's meant to be the commander, right? Meant to be the commander. Go into not campaigns. Go into missions. That's the one. Go to the missions button at the top. Slide down here to Cover Girl versus Baroness, and you can see that I have completed 2. They're fairly easy. Top 10 damage. Top 10 experience. Destroy 1 vehicle. That's tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Let me know down in the comments if you got started late and whether you were able to catch up. That's what I want to know. Hopefully, no matter when you play, these 5 will be unlocked in the next 5 days, and then you should be able to go through them. That would be ideal. The other thing I thought about as I was going through this is potentially we don't know what's going to happen with this whole pick a team, because after the first 5 days, perhaps they're going to have the event where the teams then clash by wins or experience or damage or whatever they're going to do. I don't have any essay on that. I wish I did. I'll pass it on when I do have that information. Now let's take a look at what these 3D skins look like. In fact, we're going to look at all 4. So first, we're going to back up to last year's if you're curious what those things look for. First one, we're going to go with this Cobra, which is the T-54 Mod 1. And if we go into exterior on that button, you can get a better idea of what it looks like. And as I click on that, we can see that we've got a Cobra-esque tank. Looks like black plastic and red plastic. Got a couple extra 3D guns chucked on there. None of that stuff is a hitbox. It's just all aesthetics. Pretty cool looking though. I like that. So there is the Cobra from last year. The other one is the TD, the USTS-5. Go ahead and jump into the exterior on that. And you can see the same thing going on with that one. Got the G.I. Joe stickers. That's one of the really cool things about it. It looks like the little plastic stickers that are on those things. You know what I mean? And after you've been out in the sandbox for a while playing with them, those things all fall off, and then you got just the plain old green tank raging around. Pretty cool. And this year's stuff. So first we'll start with the Cobra Tank, which is the Renegade. Let's slide around here and find that. There it is. This is what the Renegade ends up looking like. Again, click on exterior. So we can slide back out. And I guess we can't do that. Well, the gun's just so long it just falls off the screen right there. Pretty cool looking. It's got the Cobra symbol in the front. It's got the turret up at the top. Just really looks a lot like the toy itself. These two are pretty amazing at how close they really are. They did a nice job with the 3D. Same thing with the stickers. You can see the little plastic bits kind of hanging off of it. Really cool looking, actually. I kind of like that one. So that is the Renegade/Cat Crimson Attack Tank. And we'll try to get out of that if it wants to. There we go. And so the last one, the fourth and last one then, is the Sturv S1, which is a Swedish tank. That's where you're going to find that one. It's a Swedish TD. Has a couple special kind of situations going on with it. Remember, it's a tank where you press X and it goes into siege mode and it moves very slowly but is more accurate. Keeps its camo when it spins its hull, which is pretty cool. In the, I don't know if in travel mode and assault mode, if it does that. I know in assault mode that it keeps its camo when it spins its hull. It's got the fixed gun. Now, the gun is not part of the actual toy. The toy only had the rockets back there and a little hatch, but really close. Although, actually, there's the hatch. Never mind. They put the hatch in. Very nice. Little 3D model of the hatch right there. Now, here's a question I have. Hold on one moment. All right, I had to convince myself that was true. The hatch is actually there either way. I think the hatch, when it's the actual toy is further up, doesn't really matter, but as you can see, the hatch is part of the model. Anyway, very cool looking though. Got the big rockets. These, again, this is not a hitbox. It's also not a spotting point, so if you come up over a hill, you're not going to get spotted by these things. It's at the top of the tank like usual right there. That's what they all look like. Oh, here's a little footage of it in game. Looking pretty cool, getting ready to roll out. Always nice on these desert maps. Tanks always look really cool. Nice and bright and shiny. Really nicely done on the model. So very cool. Alright, and here we've got the Renegade slash Cat on the move. Looking cool, taking down the fence. Gotta love it. Look at that thing. Oh, gotta destroy something because we are Cobra. There we go. Destroy something every day when you're Cobra just to keep proficiency, right? he's dragging along a piece of that. Dragging along a piece of that ship. How long does that stay there? It's stuck. It's stuck in the tracks. Holy cow. There we go. Finally got rid of it. Alright, awesome. Well, alright, there you go. G.I. Joe is back. Yo Joe. A couple cool 3D skins. We've got the skins from last time. A couple free missions. You can get a free commander, so make sure you chuck in that code whether you're going to chase the other stuff or not. Pick a team. You might as well. I think there's probably some more missions coming and some more goodies. I didn't discuss much about the current missions. You're going to get some decals and customizations and things as well. The commanders do have voice lines. I don't have one of them to show you right now, so I don't know what their voice lines are. If you've bought one, you probably know, because they do come with the commanders. Also, I forgot to mention that when you put the code in, you do get a 20% off discount off of the G.I. Joe vehicles. So right off the bat, because you put the code in, you're going to get a coupon, and it says it's good for 8 days. All right, so you got 8 days to make a decision on that one. And there you have it. That's it for this Coffee Talk Supplemental. G.I. Joe is back. Hope you guys enjoy. If I get some good games on with these particular 3D styles, I'll chuck them up somewhere in the near future out there. I played a few. I did okay, but nothing really to write home about. And honestly, the 3D styles are not about making the tank better in gameplay. Although I will say that all 4 of the tanks in the collaboration with Hasbro are good premium tanks. These 2 especially are quite good if you're a Casemate TD person. The Sturv is a lot of fun, and the Renegade is just a really solid all-around tier 8 premium heavy tank. What's not to like? That's all I've got. Have a good one. We will see ya.